What's going on, everyone? Bobbybarks here, and welcome back to a new FM24 series where I'll be taking over as the Director of Football for Manchester United and leaving all the coaching and management to my assistant manager.
Boom. Keep him coming.
That's right, I will just be doing the Director of Football role here at Manchester United. So I won't be taking charge of any games, I won't be inputting any tactic or formation, I will leave all that to the assistant manager. So the assistant manager will essentially be the head coach. At the minute, Manchester United have two assistant managers, and I didn't actually know this. I don't know if this is recent or whether he's been there a while or whatever, but Steve McLaren is one of two assistant managers at Manchester United, and I didn't realise he was there. Mitchell van der Gaag is also there, who obviously came with Erik ten Hag. Erik's gone, we're in his place as manager, but we won't be doing anything other than transfers and staffing. Steve McLaren will be doing everything else. He'll be attending press conferences, he'll be picking the team, he'll be picking the tactic, and the former England manager will hopefully take us to glory. I'm literally, like I say, transfers, staffing, that is it. The staffing's not too bad at the start here for Manchester United, but I will be having a little bit of tinkering with it to try and improve it somewhat. Mitchell van der Gaag will be gone. He's part of Erik ten Hag's team, so I will get rid of him, and Steve McLaren will be our one and only assistant manager and be taking the team forward. This is the squad at the start, so what I've done with this save, which is different from the Tottenham save, I've done this where we can make transfers in the first transfer window, but we've got all the real players already here. So at the start of the 23-24 season, all the transfers have already been made. So Mason Mount is already here, and Andre Onana is already here, Bayinde is already here. So all the transfers that Manchester United made in real life are already here, but it is only the 3rd of July, so we've got a good 2 months to try and make our own transfers and improve on some of this before the season gets underway. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to jump all the way forward to the 1st of January. So I'm going to show you how Steve McLaren has done for the first half of the season, and I'm going to show you what transfers we made in this summer transfer window. Okay, we are here on the 31st of December. We did make two signings in the summer transfer window. Antonio Silva was a centre-back from Benfica for 52 million. And Martin Vitic from Sparta Prague for 5.5 million, another centre-back, a young centre-back. In terms of transfers out, the only significant one was Victor Lindelof, who went to Tottenham for 23 million. So, this is the squad, sorted by average rating, and Bruno Fernandes has 20 goals in 24 appearances, 3 assists. He's obviously been an exceptional player for Stevie McLaren, as has Rashford. Eriksen's only had 7 substitute appearances, and Rafael Varane has been the main centre-back. Jadon Sancho, weirdly, has been playing regularly, as has Wan-Bissaka and Anthony. So in terms of the league, good old Stevie McLaren's not been doing too bad. He's in 3rd place. He's lost away at Tottenham, Man City and Liverpool, and lost at home to West Ham, which is probably a bit frustrating for him. But the 3 other defeats, Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool, are all part of the Big Six, aren't they? So you can half accept away defeats to those teams. Bit frustrating that he's 10 points behind Liverpool, but I think the challenge for this season is just finishing the top 4, regain Champions League qualification, and not worry about anything else that's going on in any cup competitions. So as long as he does that, I think we'll stay in a job as the Director of Football. We won't get the sack, and I don't think we'll need to sack Stevie McLaren. So these are his results in the Premier League. He started off with a good 6-2 win at home to Crystal Palace. Let's just have a quick look at how that lined up. Fernandes scoring 4 in that game. Amrabat was sent off. But this is how he's lining up. It's a 4-2-3-1. And it looked like it dominated Crystal Palace, 70% to 30% possession. Good start out there from Stevie McLaren. Did he keep with this formation in most of his games? Let's have a look at the 3-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pretty much, yeah, it's the same formation. Slightly different personnel, but same formation there from Mr. McLaren. The last one was a 4-0 home win against Fulham, and again, similar formation, similar personnel. It doesn't look like he's been playing Antonio Silva much, despite me spending 52 million on him. Let's see if we can find him. He's only made 2 starts, which is not great. He should be starting him in every game. I'd be playing him and Varane or him and Martinez as the centre-backs, but nevertheless, I think he'll get his chance eventually. Let's have a look how he's been doing in the Champions League. So he is through to the round of 16. He won every game in his group stage, which I know you've got Napoli in there, but comfortable 2-0 and 1-0 wins. He only conceded goals in the last game, 3-2 away at whoever they are. And we've got Dortmund in the round of 16. So pretty pleased with how Steve is doing. So far as manager of Manchester United, as head coach of Manchester United. He's been doing really, really well. Just so I can show you, so you know that I am actually doing this correctly. There you can see my stats. Not played any games at all. So it's all been on Steve. And I've not been implementing any formation. As you know, I only play with one defensive midfielder in most of my formations anyway, as an anchor, half-back, regista, or whatever it's called. So, yeah, he's been doing alright. Let's just check the Carabao Cup before we move on. He has gone out of the Carabao Cup 4th round, 2-2 with Newcastle, lost out on penalties. So that's a bit of a shame. It's not a priority competition, but it is a bit of a shame that it's a trophy that we're not going to be able to win. So, I'll jump to the end of the January transfer window now, and we'll have a look if there's been any more ins or outs. Okay, there were some ins and outs towards the end. So, we brought in Diego Costa, goalkeeper, 65 million. I know we've got Onana, but we've now got 2 world-class goalkeepers. We brought in Desiree Doué. If you remember from my Journeyman series, we had him at Napoli. Fantastic player, young player here at the start of the game. And we brought in Valentin Barco. If you've been watching my Tottenham series, you know that I bought him on there as well. He's a very good left back. So we brought in some young players so far. Barco, Doué, Vitic and Silva. So we're kind of building that team slowly but surely for Stevie to have a crack at in future. Johnny Evans has left to go to Elche for 525,000, potentially raising to 650. Rafael Varane has gone to Al Ittihad, 60 to potentially 65 million. So I was fine with letting him go. He's 31 years old. I thought it was worth doing that deal now and getting the money in the bank to buy some of these younger players. As you've seen from my Tottenham save, there is some really good young players on this that will hopefully push us on. It's just a bit frustrating that I can't control that tactic or that formation. I've got to rely on Stevie McLaren to do that for me. So I'll show you the table at the end of the season, and then we'll see how Steve has done. We'll assess his performance over the year. Well, he's just finished in 4th place. He's got exactly the same as Tottenham, 21-7-10. However, he has got the better goal difference, so we've secured 4th spot on goal difference and qualified for the Champions League on that. Finished 7 points behind Chelsea, whereas Liverpool and Man City were way out in front on 97 and 96 points. Liverpool clinching the Premier League title. Rather surprisingly, Brighton have been relegated, so I will have a look at potentially trying to get in some of their players who are pretty good on the game. Evan Ferguson, obviously, he was with me on my Tottenham save as well. And Mitoma, somewhere down here, is there. Is also a good player. He might be somebody that we have a look at and see whether he's available for us to take on. So we should be able to get some of these players at a cut price deal. Fingers crossed. So these are the Premier League results. This is where we last showed you. So since then, we had a couple of bad defeats here against Arsenal and Liverpool, but did reasonably well in this period, just an away draw at Sheffield United. Lost away to West Ham. Did they beat us at home as well? Yeah, they did. They beat us at home. West Ham beat us home and away. Stevie McLaren's bogey team. Beating Luton, Brighton, couple of bad defeats here to City and Chelsea. Didn't do reasonably well against the top six, did we? In fact, this run in here at the end was pretty appalling. Had a good 4-0 home win against Wolves and then 6-6 against Bournemouth. What on earth is that result? Højlund scored 5. I mean, he's still going with a tried and tested formation, but how have we conceded 6 goals to Bournemouth? Stevie McLaren, that is poor by your standards. But he has finished in the top 4. Let's have a look at the cup competitions. So we went out in the 3rd round at home to Aston Villa. That's a bad result. He should have done better with that. I feel like once we went out of the Carabao Cup, he should have tried to prioritise this a little bit more, knowing we were never going to win the league. But going out in the 3rd round at home is not good, Steve. Not good. We'll have to assess that again next season. Champions League. Well, we got through to the quarterfinals. We overcame Dortmund 4-4 away. Some high-scoring games here, Stevie boy. What's going on? And then home, we beat them 2-1. Playing Lazio was a 2-1 win at home, but then we've capitulated in Rome, losing 4-1. Not a good result. I feel like playing away from home, Steve's conceding quite a lot of goals. Needs to try and shore it up a little bit there. I think it's not a bad team to put out, but we'll have to see how he gets on in season 2. But I don't think it's worth sacking him. I think it's worth sticking him for at least the first half of season 2 and seeing how he gets on. Let's quickly have a look over the staffing. So we are fully staffed here. We've got a couple of yellows, so we do need to try and improve on some of these areas here. Scouts, for some reason, Man United have an abundance of scouts over and above what they're allowed when you start this game, so we're doing alright here. I'm not going to let anyone go. We don't have a director of football in place, because that's me. And in terms of physios and sports scientists, we just need to try and improve this area a little bit too. This is the coaching team, as is. So we made a couple of additions. Neil Banfield and Paul McGuinness joined us. David Watson joined us as a goalkeeping coach. So we've got 3 goalkeeping coaches and 3 fitness coaches, which surprisingly his fitness is still not great. So we might have to review some of these fitness coaches here. I mean, he's 17, Charlie Owens 18, Gaudino is 17 as well, so I'm probably not going to get much better, are we? In terms of the squad, this is it sorted by average rating. We only had 4 players over and above the 7, and one of them was a backup player. So Sancho, Fernandes and Rashford were the best 3 players for us this season, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, they're the 3 players that kind of play behind the striker, aren't they? He plays with that attacking midfielder in Fernandes and then Rashford and Sancho on either side. If we can get hold of Evan Ferguson, I think that will certainly help. Højlund's done okay. He scored 24 in 43. But he certainly needs competition up there in the striker role. I don't think I'm going to keep Amrabat or Reguilon. Definitely not Reguilon. And I don't think we'll keep Amrabat. So I think those 2 will go. I did promote Mainu to the first team just because of how good he was on my Tottenham save. When I bought him for Spurs, he was really good. Whether we can move on some of these older players, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting shut of Casemiro. I don't mind if Martinez wants to go. Harry Maguire certainly needs moving on. So there's a couple of players we'll be trying to look to move on. Bayern Dyer can move on as well now that we've got Costa and Anana. So yeah, we'll go into the summer with some plans of what we intend to do with the squad to try and improve it and give Stevie boy. Let's have a look at Stevie's stats. Steve McLaren. I mean, he's not got bad statistics. 12 people management, 14 ability and potential, tactical knowledge is 12. I think we might struggle to find somebody that can be technically our head coach that's better than him at the minute. On my Spurs save, I don't know if you picked up on the fact that Ruud van Nistelrooy is actually my assistant manager on my Spurs save, and he's got very, very good stats. So he might be a potential manager in the future for us here at Man United if we can bring him back to the club. But we'll have to see how things go. We'll give Steve another 6 months and see how he gets on in the first half of season 2. But that is it for episode 1 of this series so far. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a little bit different to what we've been doing in the past, but hopefully it's something that you enjoy. Really appreciate those of you that have given up your time to watch this. You know, your view means the world to me. Please do, if you like the video, click the like button. Get active in the comments, tell me what you think of this series, whether it's a decent way to go, a decent challenge to have. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much, have a great day, and bye for now.